NativShark is a language education platform. So tell us a little bit about how are the lessons structured? How does a student begin their journey? Just take us through the very, very basic overview of the core Phase 1 experience.
I want to learn a language, and when someone thinks that now, today, you don't know where to go with it. You can look online, or you can ask someone who has done it before you, and then you'll just get a bunch of opinions, and you have to grab all these resources and put them together. What if you didn't have to go all over the place, and you just went to one platform and clicked one button, and it took you through everything you needed to do to get good at that language? That's the basic concept behind the platform, and that's the basic concept of our mission, which is to make learning simple. It's not to complicate this whole process, it's to start with just one button, and then we will do the rest, kind of thing.
Basically, with NativShark, it offloads all of the mental strain of what do I have to do to learn a language? When do I have to do what? It takes all that complication so you don't have to look across a bunch of different resources, across the internet, or ask random people, piece everything together, try to make yourself a study plan by some guide you found on Reddit. Instead, you can just log in and press Study Now after setting the duration of time you would like to reach your desired level of fluency.
That's amazing. Now, you mentioned a level of fluency. Something about NativShark in your process page is that there is a promise, a guarantee that there's a path to fluency here, which is something that you don't see a whole lot of online with other competing services. So what is the path to fluency, and why are you guaranteeing fluency to begin with?
When someone tells me they want to become fluent in a language, the first thing I would ask them is, more specifically, what is your goal? Because for a lot of our students, for example, their goal is not to sound cool talking. You know, maybe they're in love with the media of a certain language and they want to, watch TV shows, play video games. For that student, the concept of fluency becomes different. What's important to them is a high level of comprehension, not a high level of being able to form sentences and express your ideas and opinions. On the other hand, you might be like us and have Japanese family, and you want to talk to your family. Like, I want to thank my mother-in-law when she makes me a delicious dinner, and I want to ask her how her day was. And I want my cousins and aunts and uncles to form relationships with me. I would start with saying, what is fluent? And because we don't throw that word around lightly, we don't say, we will make you fluent in a language. We do say, we will take you to this level if you put in this amount of work, and it will be simple.
What is always built into any content that we produce at NativShark is how natural is it, and will I actually hear it, and will I actually say it as a functioning member of society in my target language, in this case Japanese. Will I be able to use this, and will other people be using it? If they won't, then we won't include it, or we'll include that later down the road.
I just want to shift gears just for now and ask you more as to the why. There has to be a reason as to why you thought that a much deeper reason as to why you decided to go through and build a whole different platform. Is there a genuine question in whether or not language education has been taught badly?
There is a very genuine question in that sense. I mean, that's really what motivated it all. It was basically painful. Like, this could go back to a conversation in 2015 after we had just met, and I remember reading his blog back then, and I had purchased his ebook, and I'd read through it, and I was like, this is a great guide, this is fantastic. And I was just sitting there thinking, but thanks, but also they could be way better than this. Like, we can do so much more than this. Like, I still had to go, and although it was a great guide, it still told you to go all over the internet and find resources from everywhere. Now, other languages I've tried to learn German, French, Spanish, Korean, and each time especially before founding NativShark, I would always get just into the beginning. I might use another resource that's out there, and I'd just get through the beginning levels, and then I'd get stuck. I'd be like, well, how do I get any further past this? And I even took language classes in university, and same thing. It's like, I just spent 3 months of my life, and I can kind of say hello, and that just didn't feel right. If some people would say, well, then why don't you just use Google Translate? It's like, well, I don't want to talk through a computer, right? I want to use my voice to connect with another human being in another culture, because I'm not going to hold up a computer to their face to have a conversation. I want to, and this is my personal thing right here, right? This is the deep seated why, is I want to have a human to human connection with a person in their native tongue. So that's where I was like, hey, why don't we just build a comprehensive language platform? And I think he maybe laughed the first time and was like, no, that's not possible. Like, that's too much work. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. But then the years went by, and we're working on improving that guide, and we started writing lessons. And then at some point along the line, we were like, wait a second, we can do this. And from that point on, it's been just figuring out how do we do that? What does that mean? And that's led us to NativShark, and a company of 10 people spread across the globe, and a software application that really solves that problem of, wait, it's all in one place. I can do this now, and there's a path to follow. So that's the passionate why.